Every time I watch the intro, I realize that the text isn't exactly lined up with the icons and it drives me crazy and I keep forgetting to fix it. So it's probably going to keep driving me crazy. Um, but hi, welcome back to another speed build. Today I am doing the Gilmore girl house and I definitely went more season 1 and 2 than any of the later seasons, so it's more of the eclectic, just mix-max furnitures. Yeah, so you'll see that when I get to decorating. But this is a show I definitely grew up watching. My mom and I would watch it. I think it was on every Friday night on the WB back before it was the CW. And growing up, like I definitely thought I was Rory and like my mom was Lorelai. And now that I'm an adult, I realize that I'm Lorelai and my mom is Emily. And it's just funny because yeah, I'm like a young adult hustler having my own family life, and my mom is crazy and exactly like Emily Gilmore. So it's funny to see that as I go older. Again, I struggle with roofing. This roof ends up hanging unnecessarily off the back end. I just left it. I didn't want to mess with it anymore. I figured it was good enough. Whatever. Like, I didn't want to do anymore. But, roofing is always going to be a struggle of mine, I think. I also did this on a smaller lot, so there's no garage like they have. There's no front driveway or anything like that. I just basically wanted to get the base house done. And I love their wraparound porch. I want a farmer's porch so bad in real life. I think it's so good. I did play around with the interior layout a little bit because I was looking at floor plans, but there's two different ones. One has two bedrooms on the top floor, and one only had one. And I feel like from watching the show, there is only one bedroom on the top floor, which is Lorelai's. So I just went with that layout. Um, and looking at pictures of the interior and like screenshots from the show, there's really nothing of Lorelai's upstairs area. Like, there's nothing about the hallway. You can kind of see her bathroom, kind of see her bedroom in some clips. So I pretty much just had to like go on a whim with that. But it was definitely easier to do the downstairs because most of the episodes take place like in the kitchen and living room. And this was definitely pre Luke coming in and reorganizing their kitchen for them. It is very disorganized, very cluttered. But I had a lot of fun with this build, and it was kind of like nice to do something that I just grew up with, sort of, I guess, because I was definitely like my age mirrored the age of Rory watching the show when it first aired, so that was kind of cool for me. But like I said, I definitely followed season 1 and 2 for the interior of the house, so it's definitely more cluttered. The furniture doesn't match. Like, they have the same wallpaper throughout the whole house, and then that hideous floral wallpaper upstairs. And yeah, I cut out some of what I did in this room because I did a lot of filler furniture. Like, I put a TV instead of the fireplace that they have in this room. So I did cut out some. You'll notice that later on. And like, I had to rework the archways because I was going off of like pictures from different angles of the show. So it was hard for me to figure out. And I didn't record any of the bathrooms because it's just like simple bathrooms. But I had a lot of fun, and I love how this house is decorated. Like, because it definitely, I think, is more of like an actual home feel where like you just collect pieces of furniture throughout the years and like different decorations, and maybe all the lamps don't match and all the like, shades of wood don't match and all that. And then the corner underneath the stairs I like doing as well because there's only a few pictures of that, but it looks like just a bunch of bookshelves and clutter, so I had a lot of fun with that as well. And I really wanted to get that little dollhouse in there. So I just sized down one of the toddler and children dollhouses because I feel like that was a staple in the show. Like, that dollhouse was there through every season. And this country kitchen set cabinets was perfect because the early seasons of the show, they have this like green and yellow kitchen. And so I thought this worked perfectly, and it has that worn feel because this is definitely an older house with the older appliances. And yeah, so I thought this worked perfectly, and the shelves have like the clutter on them that goes with how the house looks. Um, the windows, I definitely didn't follow the actual floor plan for the house. Like, I just kind of went with what fit, but it took me a while to find a table that worked too because they definitely had that like almost light avocado green table with the yellow diner chairs, but I thought this was as close as I could get. And I don't know why they have one random bar stool in their kitchen corner, but they do. So I included that. And they also have, like, obviously they are obsessed with coffee, so they have lots of coffee, so I put that in there as well. There's a couple coffee stations in there for them. And yeah, this is when I went back and like actually looked at what the living room looked like. So I did the fireplace and again the dollhouse, which I think is their, even when they did, what did they do it on Netflix where they revisited? I'm pretty sure the dollhouse is still right there in the show, even though the whole interior of the house is very modernized. I did anyone else watch the Netflix series? I watched it because, like I said, I grew up with this show, but I was really disappointed by it. I hate saying that because I feel like I should have enjoyed it more, like just for a nostalgia sense, but I felt like they could have done so much with it, and like the direction they went with Rory, I don't know. I didn't like it. I think I don't know. I'm sure it's controversial, but that was just me. And yeah, that corner, like I just shoved a bunch of stuff in there, like the little coffee table I sized down, a bunch of different bookshelves, because that's really just what it looked like. And those paranormal curtains worked perfectly with the feel of that room for the early seasons too. Just the very like, hey, we found these at like a thrift store or something, find. And then this is where I cluttered the kitchen, and I don't even know if this kitchen will be functional in gameplay. Like, I put so much clutter on all the counters and everything, so I'm pretty sure I left one of them open, maybe? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be playable or not. Oh, they might prepare on the table. Maybe they'll do that. But yeah, I definitely went a little overboard just because that's how their kitchen is. Like, I couldn't even put all the clutter into this build that they have in the show because it is just crazy. Of course, they have like all their coffee cups and coffee mugs and coffee, sugar, creamer, all that stuff. And then there's all like the collection of stuff on top of the fridge, and just every counter space is just a mess. And like, I think it's funny watching the later seasons after Luke and Lorelai get closer, and you can tell he definitely came in and like redid their kitchen because he cooks for them there. So I like the earlier look of it where it's just a complete disaster, and you can tell they just have like microwave meals and coffee, and that's pretty much it. So I definitely had fun doing this one. I think decorating this house in general was fun because it is just really realistic. Like, this would be how a house would look from having like a young mother trying to raise her daughter all alone kind of feel. And I know a lot of people don't like or have the Journey to Batuu stuff, but I like their little clutter items, especially sized down. I think they just fit well in kitchens. I know that probably sounds weird, but I think it works well. And yeah, I sized down a lot of stuff just to be able to get more items cluttered in. And I saw another builder do that, and I never like even thought to use the bathroom hand towel as like a towel in the kitchen. I think that's a really good idea. So I stole that from someone. Don't remember who, but I definitely stole it. That was not my idea. Pretty much every item that has to do with coffee I included in this kitchen as well. Because I'm pretty sure like season 1, episode 1 starts with them in the coffee shop. It's just the staple of the show. Like, if you don't take anything else from the show, you still know that they are addicted to coffee. Even Rory, who I'm pretty sure at the beginning was like a freshman in high school, maybe. But I think that's probably when I started drinking coffee too, so that's fine. And I put that ladder thing halfway into the wall. It does poke through on the other side, but I end up putting a dresser there, so it doesn't really matter. But they had something like that in the show, and then a sewing, like an old-fashioned sewing table next to it, which we don't have here. But I end up using, I think it's a debug item. Oh no, it might actually be the actual item in game that has like the flowers on it on the old, almost like wheelbarrow. I don't know. You'll see it in a minute here, but I end up putting that against that wall too, and I think it looks good. It's a good, alternative for an old style sewing machine, which we don't have in game. Yeah, there it is. I like that. And Sims can walk through that little hallway area. Even though I'm not sure if the kitchen's functional, they can still enter the kitchen. Rory's room I had a lot of fun doing. Her room is probably the room that changes the most throughout the seasons, which kind of makes sense because you think as you're growing up, especially through like middle school, high school, college, like your taste change, your style changes. So I definitely played around with it a lot. I pulled from a couple different seasons to do her room, but I like how it ended up looking. And of course, tons of books in her room because, you know, she's the nerd, she has books. I don't have the university pack, so I don't have like any banners or school pride stuff, so I couldn't do anything of that, which she has all over her walls, but I think um, I made it look pretty close to the show anyhow. I just put a bunch of other items on the walls because her walls are cluttered too. Like, she just has all the Yale banners and pictures, and I did put some awards on her wall, and yeah, just pretty much anything that would have fit to make it look like Rory's room, like her very Yale happy, organized bookworm kind of girl. I definitely made this room feel that way. And I like how the bed I chose kind of looks like the bed that was in her room. It was just that very high, almost lifted white fluffy bed. I thought this one looked pretty good with it. And yeah, just cluttering up the shelves a little bit. And then I used the trick I got from Sim Lissy with putting stuff on that bay window shelf where you like drag it and then pull it from the outside of the house to clutter that area up as well. You see me do that right here. Like if you start from the inside and then rotate the camera, you can actually move it onto the actual bay window shelf, which I think is a pretty cool trick. And I think I used every book item in every swatch in this room. And that old-fashioned TV throughout the episodes like ends up in different places throughout her room, but I just ended up leaving it there because that was a good open empty spot for it. And an open journal. And then I also put these tome books in. I can't remember exactly, but I think her grandfather gave her like a collection of books, so I just, figured that would be from her grandfather. She would have kept those there. A better gift to her instead of that portrait that he had done for his office, I think. The hideous, way too big portrait. And again, I just added more posters on the walls. Just fit the feel of her room. And then this is Lorelai's room. Like I said, there really wasn't a lot to go by for hers. Like they didn't do a lot of filming in that room, but I did try to keep it the early season, like before she made it modern with her full ensuite and walk-in closet. So yeah, I just kept the like pinkish floral area and the couple shots of her bathroom I could see. She did have like a tub and a shower and the dual sink. So I did try to keep that pretty close to what I could see. And again, the clutter everywhere. I think that's just a Lorelai thing. She's not very organized. It's okay. A lot of us aren't. But the upstairs, again, and especially the hallway on the upstairs, like it's completely just, I made it up because there was nothing really to go by for it at all. But I do like using, I think that's actually, oh no, this one is the actual chair, but usually I use the table ottoman to do in front of single chairs because I think it looks really cool. But that one is, I think it's the spa day chair that I used there. And again, just the mix max furniture. Mismatched. Why is that so hard to say? Mismatched furniture. And then I figured another like sitting reading area would be nice. Family portraits would probably be all over the walls up here, I figured. Um, so yeah, I just added a bunch of pictures, the little reading area, a computer, because again, The Sims, you need a computer in the house if it's going to be functional at all. I went with the simple bushes outside because that's what they had in the early seasons, along with some trees. I didn't go too overboard at all. I put like the seating table out here on the farmer's porch, and then I put a bench out here. I think that's all I end up doing outside. Yeah, I don't think I add any activity items. And I did this ivy along the top of the rails because they do have hanging plants there along with the growing ivy. So I just decided to use the ivy and not any hanging plants. I think it actually looked pretty cool. I just used the 9 key to move them up because they would snap onto the wall, but they would snap too low. So I do like how that ended up looking. But that is the end of this build. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely had fun doing this. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. And here's the walkthrough and some pictures. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, all that fun stuff. And I will see you next time. Bye!